not good enough. Stop trying. You can't. Give up. Just stop. You are a loser. Silence your inner critic. You have to silence your inner critic. Sometimes these voices can be our hardest critics, pointing out flaws and really dampening our spirits. Yes, you have to silence the inner critic. Listen, I'm not saying you should be delusional. I'm not saying you should have this big ego. I'm not saying that you should go with life blind and deaf, ignoring what you need to work on. What I'm saying is stop magnifying the past mistakes and the past traumas and the past critics and move forward. I want to explore the idea of silencing our inner critic. I want us to really look at this and build a better relationship around it. The first thing we need to look at is understanding the inner critic. You have to understand it. You see, it comes from a place of fear and insecurity. You are afraid of what might happen and not happen if you step out. The fear of being rejected, the fear of failing. Sometimes we want to really live our dream and make that transition, and you are afraid of the insecurity of that new environment and that new transition it comes with. And that's all critic. That's all holding you back from stepping out in your full potential. So you have to silence the negatives. You have to silence that because it just strives on comparison. It just strives on trying to be perfect, perfect, perfect. And life is not perfect. We are all imperfect in some way, and we have to embrace that and move forward. Another thing is that we don't like to take risk. And because we don't like to take risk, we always work with whatever the inner critic is saying to us. And don't get me wrong, your inner critic sometimes comes from people, but the deepest one to overcome is the one within you. You holding yourself back. Nobody is holding you back but you. And you have to fight that. You have to fight that enemy first, which is your inner critic, telling you not to go. Your brain is wired to play it safe and tell you to do the safe thing, but you have to retrain and rewire your brain to do the hard thing. I suffer a lot from this. I hold myself back. I listen to my inner critic back in the past, and I did not get to seize the opportunities that I wanted to seize. I did not get to go to the different environments I wanted to explore. I really hold myself back. Like every single time I came up with an idea, I came up with a strategy, I came up with a business idea, and I wanted to put it out there. I wanted to test that idea. My inner critic holds me back. My imperfections hold me back. And I'm telling you that this is your sign to go all in on what you know you need to do to get to the next level. So silence your inner critic. You see, another thing we need to look at is recognizing the impact of your inner critic. Recognizing the impact, being aware of what it's doing to you. You see, it really goes beyond our thoughts. It seeps in our actions, our character, our relationships. It gets ugly. And you have to watch it because then it start to hinder your communication. It start to hinder your creativity. It start to hinder your ideas, your flow. And it just start to mess with you. And you can never really get something out. You have to silence it. You have to ignore it. You have to really laser focus and push beyond whatever negatives that's going on in your mind, and you think back in the past you can't accomplish now. So you have to push past that and reclaim your power. Another thing that we don't do enough is cultivating self-compassion. Really practicing this is one of the main key I believe in silencing inner critic is really being compassionate with yourself, being kind to yourself, you know, and treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you give others. Like, you're kind to others, you're compassionate to others, you understand others, but you always being hard on yourself. Love yourself, treat yourself right, and be easy on yourself. So reclaim your power and cultivate compassion. Now, I want to go into some practical strategies, but not limited to. First, I just want to say, if you're going through something mentally, like really serious, and it's beyond what you think it is, then you should really seek professional help. I can't help you. I'm just giving you strategies of what I do to get rid of my inner critic, and I'm just teaching you methods that I use, which is friendly, general practices that anyone can do. But if you're dealing with something, like really dealing with something, I really recommend that you see someone professional. Now back to the video. You see, I was talking to a friend, and he is a confidence coach, and we were having the conversation about our traumas, our past memories, and our mistakes. And I ended with saying to him that, we can never really get rid of the memories, even the trauma of past mistakes, but we should be aware of them and manage them. Instead of being reactive, be proactive. You can't change, remove the inner critic completely. You can't really change the past. What you can do is move to the future and use the past as a way to better react to whatever you meet upon in the future. You see, I've made a lot of mistakes back in the past of how I might behave and character and all of that. And instead of using that to bring me down and keep me stagnant and keep me, you know, in one place, I just learn from it. I just adjust. And whenever I find myself in a situation that gonna really push my character and test me, I tend to look back on that and deal with it in a different manner. I'm not saying you just take anything. I'm just saying that there are better ways to have a voice, share your voice, and maintain your power without disrespecting anyone. I'm also saying that there's a lot of ways that you can be proactive instead of always reacting and being triggered by this stuff. So be proactive and not reactive. Think first and then respond. Now, the strategies I find useful and of value to me is practice mindfulness. You want to cultivate your thoughts and feelings without judgment. You want your mind to be a safe place all the time. When the world is messed up, when the world is judging, when the world is doing what it's doing, always practice mindfulness. Always work on having the best mindset. Alright. Now, something that I like to do is positive affirmations. I like to speak positive words around me. I like to change the different words that I use. If I'm going through something, I'm not going to describe it in a way where, oh, I'm just going through this right now and things is just hard and things just not happening. My content not working. Everything is just wrong. I'd rather say I am overcoming a challenge of doing better content and of getting things work better soon enough. You have to change the way you talk, because the way you talk to yourself really matters. And words are very powerful. You have to be mindful of what you're saying. So you have to practice positive affirmations. And I have a list of positive affirmations I say time to time. I may not do it all the time, but sometimes when I feel like there's a lot of negativity going on with me, I take it out and I read it and I read it and I read it and I start to believe it. And once I believe it, I start to do it. And when I start to do it, I start to manifest. You'll get it when you try it. Another thing that we need to do is challenge your negative thoughts. Yes, stop running away from your negative thoughts. Stop accepting your negative thoughts about yourself or even what people say about you. You need to challenge that. You need to question that. You know, you need to base it. Is this facts or it's distorted? You know, you have to really challenge and question this inner critic of yours. If it's facts, then what can I do to work on these facts? If it's distortion, then you need to get that out of your mind because it's not real. It's just a thing. It doesn't exist. You need to remove that. So you have to challenge your negative thoughts. And the last thing is celebrate your progress. Yes, celebrate your progress. Science or inner critic is not about just removing self-doubt, but learning to coexist in a healthy way. As I said before, you can't get rid of your past mistakes. You can't change some things that was done in the past. This is not a movie. This is not a magic wand kind of situation. You can't. So you have to balance having that inner critic and the positive solution coexist in a healthy environment. And every time tension is rising, you adjust it and balance and deal with it. Instead of reacting to it, you'll be proactive about it. So you have to celebrate small victories that help you to be patient with yourself. Sometimes you slip, sometimes you make a mistake, sometimes you go back from where you're trying to come from mentally, and you have to look at the days that you were winning mentally and have a winning mindset and just get back to that, you know, and just understand that at the end of the day, you deserve greatness, you deserve abundance, and you are belonging just as you are. So, this is your sign to go all in on your potential this season. This is your sign to push yourself. This is your sign to challenge your inner critic. I hope this video really helps you to get out of that mindset of always bringing yourself down and being your worst enemy. Now, if you want to listen more of this, you could check out the podcast. And if you want to read more on this, you could check out the blog on keiferwise.com. And see you guys in the next video.